Robin Soderling thinks Rafael Nadal is forcing Roger Federer to keep playing. Robin Soderling believes Rafael Nadal has played a huge part in Roger Federer's determination to keep playing, as he looks to finish his career having won more Grand Slam titles than his great rival. The former world number 4 remains one of just 2 players to beat Nadal at the French Open, famously stunning the Spaniard in 2009 before suffering a defeat in the final against Federer, which was the Swiss-only triumph at Roland Garros. Soderling, 33, was a beaten finalist just a year later but saw his career ended prematurely after battling with glandular fever. Little has changed since he was last on the ATP Tour some 7 years ago, with Federer and Nadal dominating the sport, and the Swede was quizzed over how the pair continued to thrive in their 30s. And Soderling stated his belief that 36-year-old Federer is reticent to hang up his racket until he racks up a total of Grand Slam titles that he thinks Nadal won't be able to catch. "They're just different persons from all of us," he said in a press conference at Roland Garros. Well, they both, or especially Rafa, he's been struggling with injuries a lot throughout basically all his career, but he always comes back. I think both him and Roger now is doing a smart thing. They are trying to scale down their schedule, not playing as many tournaments just to have the chance to play as long as possible. But it's amazing. I think even more amazing is to see they can still, be hungry. They won everything, both of them won everything, and not only once but so many times. But they are still hungry. But I really think that the rivalry between them on court has helped them both. I think, maybe that's one of the reasons Roger is still playing, because he feels that, okay, if I retire now or anytime soon, if Rafa plays a few more years, maybe he will beat a few of my records. So he definitely wants to. When he retires or when they both retire, I think they both want to be the one that won more than the other one. While Soderling, who is coaching 22-year-old Swede Elias Ymer, is in awe of the domination of the Big Four over the last decade or so, he thinks it's time for others to step up. Well, I think, when I played, and for so many years, almost all the Grand Slams, almost all the Masters tournaments were won by either Roger, Rafa, Novak, Djokovic, or Andy Murray. And with Novak being injured, Andy is injured, both Roger and Rafa struggled with injuries, there has been a couple of new winners, and there has been a few players that has beaten them. I think that's really important, because if all the other players see that, okay, it's not impossible to beat Rafa or Roger, I think it spreads really fast throughout all the other players. And sometimes maybe, this invincible aura that the top players have, it can disappear pretty quickly. And also in the results, you saw, there's new winners in Masters tournaments, there's new winners in Grand Slams. And I think it's good for the young guys, because, these top guys or these top 4 that's been dominating the tennis for so many years, they're not young anymore. They are all over 30 years old, and they won't play forever. So it's going to be a big gap for the new players to fill, because, 2 or 3 of the best players in the history were playing at the same time, and we had this rivalry with Roger and Rafa. It's not going to be easy for all the other players, but it's really time for them to step up. French Open semi-finals preview and predictions: Halep vs Muguruza and Keys vs Stevens. Rafael Nadal's French Open hopes hang in the balance as rain hits Roland Garros. Maria Sharapova hits back at Serena Williams after French Open exit.